Hey everybody, it's Josh Alexander, the host of Orange County Housing Market News. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. If this is the first time you've ever listened to this show is all about Orange County real estate. So I go over what's been happening in the market, I talk to local experts, and I also go over some tricks and tips for home buyers and for home sellers. So if you are thinking of purchasing or selling your home, it's a great place to start. So in today's show, I'm going to be talking about the February Orange County housing market update. So we're going to talk about supply, demand, and what that means for buyers and sellers so you know what to expect if you're thinking about getting in the market right now. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so if you've been tuning into my monthly market updates, you might be thinking I sound like a broken record at this point because a lot of this information has been very similar for about 10 months now. And that's we have very low supply, very high demand, which puts us squarely in a very hot seller's market. So before we go over today's numbers, I just want to do a quick recap of where we started the year and how we got to this point so you can kind of see what's been developing over the last couple weeks. So at the beginning of the year, Orange County started the housing market with the lowest supply that we've seen in at least 16 years. And this is not just an Orange County problem. This is a nationwide problem. So the National Association of Realtors came out and said that this year the United States has started with the lowest inventory they've ever seen since they started tracking, which was back in 1982. So you can see that this is not an Orange County problem. This is something that's happening nationwide and really putting a strain on those buyers that are trying to find a property right now to take advantage of these low interest rates because there's just not enough inventory to go around. So if you recall back in my January update, I let you know that inventory was continuing to decline through the month of January, but demand was also going down a little bit. But I told you that is usually because at that time of year, people are getting done with New Year's, they're not really shopping for homes, and that you're going to start seeing those numbers rise as we get into February. And that's exactly what happened. So over the last couple of weeks, we've seen a 26% increase in demand, and that's 16% more than we saw last year at this point. And if you remember last year, we actually started off last year in a hot seller's market as well. So this year, our demand is even higher than that right now, which is putting us in an even hotter seller's market just based on the demand alone. But let's look at the supply as well, because supply is actually the bigger story right now. So again, we started off with the lowest inventory. January, our inventory went down. And then again, over the last 2 weeks, we lost another 5% inventory, which puts us at the lowest inventory we've seen in at least 16 years to start out February. Now let's also compare that to last year. So last year at this point, again, we were in a seller's market, but last year we had 61% more homes on the market in February last year than we currently do right now. So you can see that because demand increased by 16% compared to last year and supply decreased by 61% compared to last year, we are in an extremely hot seller's market where almost anything in the market that's under $1.5 million is going on the market and then into escrow in less than 30 days right now. So why is that happening? Again, broken record at this point, but it's because of the low interest rates that we were seeing. Right now, we're still hovering under 3%. We're hovering right around 2.73 last time I checked. However, I'm starting to see those interest rates climb this week, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're a little bit higher by the end of the week. Now, if you compare that to the beginning of the year, it's not a significant difference, but we started this year at 2.65. So 2.65 to 2.73, again, might not sound like a significant difference, but this is the trend that we're expecting to happen as people get vaccinated, as the economy continues to improve, as people get their jobs back. As America starts to come back from this virus, we're going to start seeing those interest rates go up as people have more confidence in the economy. So most experts are predicting that by the end of this year, we are going to see interest rates continue to rise anywhere from about 3 to 3.4% by the end of this year. Now that's assuming that the economy is going to continue to improve and things are going to continue to get better. And we already are seeing signs that the market is going to support these higher interest rates. So the 10-year treasury, which is what the interest rates most closely track with, has been going up steadily since the beginning of the year. So as that 10-year treasury goes up, you usually see interest rates for homes for those 30-year mortgages go up as well. So we really haven't seen interest rates budge too much, but we're continuing to see that 10-year treasury continue to rise, which again is just an early indication that there's good support in the economy for interest rates for homes to rise as well. So again, over 3% interest rates by the end of the year might seem kind of scary for a buyer that's looking to purchase a property because it is higher than it is today, but you also want to keep in mind and look at history in terms of how low interest rates are right now. Even if they go up to 3.1, 3.2% by the end of the year, we're still looking at some of the lowest interest rates we've ever seen. However, it is important for buyers to kind of keep that in mind and make sure you're watching that, because as interest rates do go up, it does start to erode the type of home you can buy. So you're going to be able to afford less, or your monthly payments are going to increase for the same priced home once those interest rates start rising. So the longer you wait, at this point, the higher your risk is going to be that those interest rates do climb up higher than what they currently are right now. Okay, so now that we've covered the basics of supply and demand as well as interest rates, let's take an even deeper look at what's going on in the market based on the prices of homes. So whether you're trying to purchase in a certain price range or you're selling your home in a certain price range, you'll have a better idea of what to expect when you enter the market. So this first graph that I want to pull up right now, this is showing you the year-over-year change in both the supply and demand. So if you look at the net difference between the lower supply and the higher demand, you'll see that as price ranges go up, that difference becomes larger. So for instance, if you look at the lowest price, so 0 to 500,000, the net difference is about 39%. Now that's still huge, but relatively speaking, as you move up in price, that difference just gets larger. So when you go all the way to the 1.5 million and above, you're looking at a difference of 90% when you're putting both of those together. And this is basically showing you that compared to last year, the luxury housing market is on fire right now. So if you've been thinking of selling your home and it's worth more than $1 million, this is one of the best times not only for you to sell your home, but anybody else in the market too. So a lot of people think that all the supply demand is all for the lower priced homes. This is happening for every priced home in pretty much every category right now. Now the second graph I want to pull up, this is showing you on average about how long you can expect it to take from the time you put the for sale sign in your home until the time you can get into escrow. So if you look at this graph, this just basically shows you that any home that's under $1.5 million is going into escrow in less than 30 days, which is crazy. This is a very hot seller's market we're talking about now. Technically, anything less than 60 days is actually a seller's market. So right now, we're pretty much in uncharted territory. Buyers have never had a harder time getting into a home, and sellers have never had an easier time selling the home as they do right now today. So speaking of that, let's go into what this data actually means for both the buyer and the seller. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with buyers. So buyers, right now, I feel for you. I'm working with buyers myself right now, and this is an extremely hard market for buyers to get a home. There's not a lot of supply, and when the right home hits the market that you want to place an offer on, one, you have to do it very quickly, and two, there's probably another 10 to 15 buyers also in line trying to place offers on that same home. So buyers are having to go through extraordinary lengths to get their offer accepted, taking out contingencies, shortening escrow, doing almost anything the seller wants at this point to try to secure that property. So as a buyer, you're probably starting to think, why even try to do this? I'm just going to get out of the market. It's too depressing. I don't want to have to compete with this many people. I'm getting rejected over and over again. I'm just out of here. Well, yes, I can understand the frustration. However, again, like I said in January, the thing that you really want to make sure you consider is that appreciation is happening every single day in the market. So the longer you wait at this point to be able to get into escrow, the higher the home prices are getting. On top of that, again, like I talked about before, interest rates have been going up since the beginning of the year, and that trend is going to continue throughout the rest of the year as long as the economy continues to improve. So not only are you going to be dealing with higher home prices, you're going to be dealing with higher interest rates as well down the line, which put those both together is going to start dramatically decreasing the price of a home you can get, as well as increasing how much you're paying on your monthly mortgage for those types of homes. So even though you might not get that first offer accepted, you need to be persistent. You need to keep going at it, because if you're able to secure a home right now, you're going to be thanking yourself later, because you're going to be able to lock in the low interest rates and you're going to get a home right now while appreciation is still happening for the rest of the year. So sellers, I really don't know how else to say this except get your home on the market now. This has been the best time ever to be able to sell a home in today's market. If you're planning on selling your home right now, demand is sky high, inventory is extremely low. As we continue to move forward, you are going to start seeing more and more homeowners getting their house on the market. As the vaccines roll out, more people are going to be comfortable putting their homes on the market, as well as traditionally, right after the Super Bowl, which we just had, you're going to start seeing upticks in the amount of people starting to place their homes on the market. So the longer you wait at this point, the more competition you're likely going to have to deal with down the road. So if you want to be able to get the best price for your home and be able to have the most competition and be able to get those multiple offers, get your home on the market as soon as you can. I know it's only February, but this year, this is really the best time to place your home on the market. Now through April is going to be that window when you're going to be able to get the max price for your home, have the most amount of competition, and be able to negotiate the best terms you can get on that home purchase. So when you do go into escrow, you have the best chance of success, as well as the best chance of getting the highest price for your home. So sellers, you might be thinking to yourself, I know I can sell my home. I've been hearing it over and over again how hot of a seller's market it is, but now I'm just concerned that once I sell my home, I'm not going to be able to purchase a new home quick enough before my old home sells and I'm going to end up with no house. Well, I went over this information in the last 2 shows that I did, so if you haven't checked those out, please do, because there are so many ways that you can protect yourself as a seller to be able to sell your home, buy a new home at the same time, and have full protection, so that way you only have to move once and you're not going to end up without a home to live in while you're doing so. So definitely check those episodes out. So that's all I have for you today for February's market update. Now in next week's show, I'm going to discuss a topic that I'm starting to see more and more in the news about the housing market, and that is over the last 6 to 9 months, we've seen a lot of rapid appreciation in the housing market. Now, is that going to cause some type of bubble in our future? That's the question I'm going to answer next show. So if you aren't already subscribed and you want to be able to get notified every time a new show is released, please hit that subscribe button. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that bell button as well, and that way you're notified every time a new episode's released. Until next time, stay happy, stay healthy, and we'll see you later. Bye.